Hey guys, welcome to a Chelsea fan channel, which I still don't know what I'm going to be naming this. So if you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments. Today we're going to be previewing the game against West Ham. To be honest, we do have some, start of season jitters. And I can say that both sides will be desperate for 3 points. With West Ham having a miserable start by losing 3-0 against Sunderland. But that was really bad. But I can't talk about them without talking about how badly we did against Crystal Palace. Now, I do understand that it was a well-drilled, well-organized Crystal Palace that beat Liverpool and Man City before they played us. And to be honest with you, I think that we could have nicked it. Trevoh Chalobah had a chance, Estevao had a chance, and I think it was Andre Santos towards the end. So, having said that, we also could have lost that game. So I think a draw is fair because of how well that team played. And we have to give credit to Crystal Palace where it's due. Oliver Glasner did set up really well. So credit to that manager. Let's start with the team news. I think that with Nkunku and Jackson being left out of the squad, but still training with them, Maresca's sort of hinting that if we don't make the sales that we want to make, they might be reintegrated. But I don't think that's what the manager wants. It might be what the owners and the sporting directors might say, oh, we didn't manage to sell them to what we need, so they might want to reintegrate them. However, we also have injuries to players that were crucial to the squad, like Levi Colwill, he was the player that sort of broke the lines with his passes from behind. He was that central defender for us when we went to a back three. And I think that Maresca clearly said it in both his pre-match press conference, where he said that he wants a player like that. And right now in our current squad, we don't have anybody like that. However, what was interesting for me is that when asked this time about the same thing that he said last week, he sort of backtracked, which makes me think that either the owners have sat him down and said, listen, pal, we are not going to be able to get a centre back like you asked for. Let's find a solution within the squad. Having said that, let's talk about Josh Acheampong. I think that he really played well. He made, I think, 2 or 3 mistakes, which a young guy could make, in his start for a big team like Chelsea against a really good side. But I'm glad there was a clean sheet because of the fact that that'll sort of help his confidence. So Acheampong did a really good job, and I think that he might still play. Unless and until if Tosin is available, then Maresca might play him ahead and sort of rotate him with Acheampong to sort of give him enough of rest to get back into the squad. Let's say that. On the right, I think they will still start Reece James. So we'll go into the formation a little bit. What I think is going to happen is that before we speak about the formation, let's talk about how these young players that we're going to have to integrate, but integrate quickly, because some of them, we all know who we're talking about. Estevao is sort of knocking on the door and making his presence felt, where the manager is not going to be able to keep him on the bench for too long. You'll have to start this boy because he is built different. The things that I saw him do in the few games that he's played for us, it just feels exciting. Again, I don't want to gas him up. I don't want to say he's going to be the best player in this season. But what I think is going to happen is that he's going to get a feeling of this league. He's going to get a couple of knocks because of how they will try to boss him around. But you can see that this guy is not going to take it lying down, right? He is going to fight for his spot in the team. And he's also going to fight to show that why they call him Messinho in Brazil. So let's talk about formation. And here's how I'm picturing that. We're going to be playing a 4-2-3-1 and a flexible 4-3-3 if needed. We could be playing Caicedo, and instead of Enzo, who looked kind of leggy in the last game, I think he needs a bit of rest. I would play Andre Santos because he looked really good. He looked comfortable, and he's had a great season as well playing in Strasbourg. So I would play Santos next to Caicedo, especially against the team that wanted him actually. They wanted him this summer when we said, no, he's not going to be able to move because he's crucial to this project and to what we're trying to do this season. Then we'll have Palmer in the pockets, so he will have more chances to impact this game. And I really hope that this is the game where he breaks this, this streak that he's gone on without scoring I think it's since January he's not scored from open play. Again, as a Chelsea fan, I've seen him score in the Club World Cup, so I know he still has it. It's not affected him, but just this noise from social media, I want that to stop for him, stop for every Chelsea fan out there. So I just think that this is the game that he'll have the opportunity to do something special, and he will do it. On the wings, I think we should play Estevao on the right and Pedro Neto on the left. And with their bursts of space and a flair play, I think that it's going to be exciting to watch, and the defenders are not going to be able to handle these guys. Leading the line up top, for me, if we play James as a right wing, then if we play James as a right wing back rather, then I think we should play Liam Dilap, because James' crossing game is really so good, and I think Dilap could be at the end of all of these crosses. But it just based on whatever's happened so far, I think Maresca will play João Pedro on top and then rotate him with Dilap in the end, or it could be the other way around. For me, I think what I think it should be is Dilap in front with James on the right, just to start this game. Now, just to isolate these guys and say, okay, who can impact this match and who could really stand out. For me, it's the people that I've already mentioned. So Estevao could be that energy, that burst, that new creative thinker that we need in the field to sort of do something special, especially when the teams sort of do this low block. And I think West Ham will try to do that with us. So I think he could be an impact player. Josh Acheampong really impressed me in the last game, and he could be a difference maker. I really want to have that clean sheet again, because in all the games that we played, I think that 2 games we conceded only 1 goal each, and one of them is when we got the red card. The other one is when Estevao scored against us. So for me, it's this defense has been good. Maresca has been doing a really good job with them. So I think that we need to lock it up, and Acheampong will play a big role. So it's just my ones to watch for this game. Liam Dilap has been somebody who's impressed me when he was playing for Ipswich. He is that kind of traditional number 9 that is bullying the defenders, and I want this guy to do well in a Chelsea shirt, especially after he's taken the number 9. I know you have this curse and everything, so he's another one to watch for me in this game, that he could be that impact player, because we are always concentrating on now João Pedro. We'll be looking at Cole Palmer. We'll be talking about Enzo Fernández. So when we're talking about these guys who have already been there and have been doing it for us, I think the guys who are sort of waiting in the wings, like an Andre Santos, could have a real impact in this game and could change the game for us. I know that these guys were all nervy in the first game. That's why Santos could have finished it. He he saw his name in lights and he sort of skied it. Same for Estevao. If he had to leave it for Pedro Neto, we could have got 1-0. I know I keep bringing that game again up. It's just that if we can win, why not go for it? So as much as I like to talk about all of this in a positive way, we also have this negative noise that's coming around us. So as Chelsea fans, I want to sort of band together and say, okay, can we make a difference? And I have a couple of questions that I think that before rivals ask us, we could ask ourselves and see how we can sort of react to this. So you can leave your comments to each of these questions down below. If Cole Palmer fluffs it tonight, does he get the Klopp treatment? What do I mean by that? If he doesn't perform as per expectation, does Maresca take the blame on himself, shield the player, or does he or does Cole Palmer deserve the criticism now? He's been playing for 2 years. He just needs to man up and sort of deal with all of this and continue to play through this sort of let's say negativity and hate. Is Estevao too raw? Is it too early to put him in and sort of break his confidence? Or do you think it's a good thing to start him and let him sort of get through these early periods of this teething period with the teams like your West Hams and sort of easier fixtures, so that when the big teams come, he will be able to perform? Is Liam Dilap that bully of a striker, that wrecking ball, or is he actually wrecking our formation and our shape? Because when I see the way João Pedro plays, he sort of falls back, he's sort of impacting the game and trying to encourage Palmer to move around, and I think that sort of worked. The chemistry worked, especially in the Club World Cup. I'm not saying Dilap is a bad player because I actually want him to do well. Like I said earlier, I just want to know, what do you guys think? Do you think that he's somebody that we sort of ease in like Estevao, like Andre Santos, or do you think that he's supposed to be our main man and then you rotate him with João Pedro? So the plan should be to keep the mid tight like we did against PSG, to burst out wide with our attacking and like really pacey wingers to sort of protect the team against counters with Caicedo and Andre Santos, and let our maestro in Cole Palmer to like orchestrate all of this like he did with our previous manager Pochettino. I'm curious, if we do like sort of concede first, which I really don't want, but if we do, how would you set up? Like, would you sort of like counter and press and, you know, go all out on these guys, or would you still prefer to what Maresca's doing right now, hold the ball, control it? Because I think the criticism last time, or has been for some time, when we do not come out with results, is that we have possession in the wrong parts of the pitch, which doesn't really impact the game for us. And I think that was one of the criticisms of last game as well. So that's my breakdown. If you guys enjoyed that, if you want raw Chelsea content, and if you are vibing with this entire thing, hit that subscribe, smash that like, and yeah, share this with somebody who has an opinion on Chelsea, because I'd like to like hear your thoughts. Let me know, who do you think is going to win this game? Who's your MVP? Who's going to stink it up on the pitch? Let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next one.